this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
Oh, it used to be the mantra. Welcome out to this week's episode of the Gamers Council. I'm your host, WEBDAVE, along with Hargeet Chani is my co-host. What's up, Hargeet? How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. We got two big guests tonight. One of them's on their way, so don't worry. MAV is on the way, driving safely, but he'll be here soon. Had a little family thing, run a little long, but that's it's all right. That's all right. Better safe than sorry, as you were. But we do have the legend, the one, the only, ladies and gentlemen, Griggity.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. You're here, dude. It's gonna be a good night,
invite, man. It's time to TTS a little bit. Yeah, time to TTS.
it is gonna be. We have a few things to talk about.
Yeah, we definitely got some stuff to talk about.
Few little things to talk about tonight. Yeah. Oh my goodness! So let's see. So Mav's gonna be here a few minutes. We do have a couple of super chats. We want to go ahead and knock those out. Hargeet, are you ready to read some super chats?
I'm on mute. Sure. Here we go.
No, now you are.
Yeah, right. Adidas 20 $5. What's up, Web Mav Hargeet? Olives, my brother, 22 minutes away, out downing Long Islands and watching football. Have a great show and smash those ponies.
Excellent. And he's got another one here.
Wow. Adidas 20 $2. Smash the ponies, but no Diddy.
We don't party like a Diddy party, so yeah, that's what's up.
Excellent.
Shout out to the homie Adidas.
Yes. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get things going tonight with this gifting some memberships. Let's just throw some out there just to get the ball rolling. Boom shakalaka. There we go.
Nice.
So, can you Hargeet? Can you see who just got those?
Sure. Hang on. Let me get the right window here.
It's
all right.
good.
So we got Roshan Eppinger, Bobby Singh, Danny Passion Official, Big Mad Mo, and Focus Active.
There you go. So, welcome to the council, guys. Yeah, there you go. And just so that you're aware, if you have a gifted membership or if you purchase a membership, which is only $1, that's it. That's all, just $1. But the reason we do that is so you can have access to these cool emojis, which I'm going to throw up in the chat right now, and you can use them up, burn them up all night long. And then we actually have one that is for Dirt and Shine specifically that we put in there, and it's the TTS because
TTS.
That's right. Got to talk that shit.
TTS, baby.
One of my favorite shows for the dynamic duo of podcasting.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Oh, right back at you, man. Right back at you. I guess let's. You're welcome for the membership, man. Like I said, just doing our little part. Yeah, so we already have 130 people here in the chat. So, all right, yeah, Dirt's getting into it. We got TTS lighting up the board. I love it. And I said Mav will be here in a few, so don't worry about that. Already jumping up. We got people tuning in on the YouTube and on X. Thank you so much. If you remember, or if you're watching us on YouTube, you do have the access to the emojis there. So, but we do appreciate you on X as well. And as soon as they update things in the future with that, we'll be doing more crap with that as well too. So don't worry. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Danny's got a question for us right away. Hargeet, you want to read that one?
Hey panel, I downloaded Modern Warfare 3 on my laptop from the Xbox app. For some reason, none of the modes are available. All of them are locked. Any thoughts? I mean, I don't know what the Game Pass situation is on PC. I don't know if it. I mean, how is that working? I don't know. Haven't you ever tried it?
I have no idea.
I haven't tried that particular thing either. And I believe that there's some things with we're going to find out more about soon. Just speculation, of course. What? Matt was here. He'd take us to Speculation Town, but he'll be here.
Yeah.
And every now and again, I do have my dog barking in the background, so I apologize for that. I think there was some questions. Dirt, is your dog okay?
Yeah, that POS okay. They're cooking the cats and the dogs.
Oh,
Yeah, it turns out that's actually true, which is pretty disgusting. But I guess it's culturally relative to them. I guess whatever it is, what it is. I'm not going to get into it. We always look at things from our perspective, and you also have to think about their other perspectives in the world. And
absolutely,
maybe it's not something we want to do, but it's something other people do. It's like okay,
other cultures. That's why I love YouTube, man, where people would do vlogs in different countries and different cultures. That's something I would have never seen if it wasn't for YouTube. I love to watch stuff like that. See different cultures. I'm not about to eat like a glazed cricket, but some other cultures love eating insects.
They do it, right? Like
yeah.
So like a quick side story. I had to travel the world for my company, and I ended up going to China at some point. And normally, like the only thing I do is work, but I'm like, oh, cool. While I'm here, I'm gonna eat your food, right? I want to get like all the cool foods you have. And so I asked the local guy. Oh yeah, he asked me like, what restrictions do you have? And I'm like, well, I pretty much eat anything. He's like, well, understand, anything means anything. We really do eat anything.
Oh wow.
So are you sure you want to? It's like, okay, let's stick to like chicken, pork, and beef.
Right. Let's get the stuff I know.
There you go. Mav did say he's on his way. We posted our chat. Thank you, Pat. Drive safe. We appreciate you. We'll have you join us as soon as you get here. No rush, no worries. Red Wolf, welcome out, buddy. And he did a gift of membership. Hargeet, can you see that one and who he gave it to?
Yeah, let me just switch that window, and it is HaloBot. Nice.
There you go.
Congrats.
Cool. Yeah, and Legendary Yobi's in the chat. Sanchez Gaming's in the chat. And Sanchez, I know you did say that was debunked, but actually, it wasn't.
It was.
There's been some more. There's been more new evidence. In fact, there's. I think I heard that they're actually going to do some kind of town hall thing.
Oh wow!
Like next week to interview some people personally there. I'm just saying.
Springfield, Ohio.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
To each their own. To each their own.
Exactly.
Let me see how far Springfield, Ohio is from me because I want to go to that town hall. Let me see how far.
That's so funny. See if you can get some. Was it tailgating in the parking lot? What kind of meat is this? Don't ask. What do you mean? Don't ask. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Goodness. Good. Oh. Let's see. That one actually looks good to read there, Hargeet.
It's 3 hours away from me, so no, I'm not going. That's not that bad, but not,
All right, read it out. When I went to China, we ordered duck. They brought us half a chicken. Interesting. Half of the head was still attached. They looked us in the face and said, "That's a chicken." Okay. But like, this is the kind of stuff that does happen. Like, they will just give you the whole bloody thing. Like, I don't know if it's going to gross people out, but we went to a restaurant and the table next to us ordered a frog, and they actually brought this live frog, yay big, in a freaking trash. You know how you have like the trash thing you sweep into, the little bucket thing that you can throw. It had it in there, and then like 20 minutes later, that same thing whole was glazed with like a nice sauce on it and on their table. I'm like, yo.
Now I've had frog legs before, but I've never had the whole frog.
Yeah, it's like that's what
they
do.
Now frog legs actually do taste like chicken. You know how people say stuff tastes like chicken? They actually do taste like chicken. I say
they do. They do. Yeah, I remember my dad cooking up some. He was all excited that he got some the first time he ever fried some up, and of course they sometimes they'll twitch, even
Yeah.
And he was, and of course my mom's freaking out. What am I eating that? She's like, it's already dead. It's just a natural bubble. She wouldn't eat it. We hell had to, but she wouldn't do it. She was done. Oh goodness, over 250 people watching us now on YouTube and on X. Oh my gosh, we got like 149 people on X watching us.
Nice.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate that greatly. So either way, and if you are on YouTube though, you do have access to the emojis if you become a member or if you're already a gifted member. So just so you know, that is available to you for only $1 a month to do that. And of course, you can just do it 1 month, have abuse the emojis, and then you know, quit it. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. Welcome out everybody to the chat. Thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate it. Like I said, we're kind of stalling a little bit as Mav is on his way, but there's no rush. Dirt, let's kind of what have you been playing? What have you been watching? In anything exciting that you've been checking out?
Well, I've been playing a few things actually, man. You know, I need to focus on one game and finish it, but that hasn't happened. This like especially this time of year when all these games start to come out. But I was playing Kenna on Xbox. I was enjoying it. Then I started playing Warhammer Space Marine 2. I'm loving that. You know, then I play the sports games also. I play 2K, a little Madden. Now, so I just been playing a bunch of different stuff. There's another game I was playing. Why am I drawing a blank right now? I have no idea why I'm drawing a blank. Well, yeah, Warhammer has been having my attention. Like I said, a little 2K. I put Kenna down for a second. Not that it was a bad game because it was actually pretty damn good, but I just put it down because I wanted to play some other stuff. There's another game I'm forgetting that I'm playing, bro. I don't know what the hell. Oh, well, yeah, those are the games I'm playing. I'll let you know as soon as I look it up.
It's an exciting game.
My recent gameplay, yeah.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. If you get a chance,
Star Wars Outlaws. Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Outlaws. Yeah, which I actually like. You know, some people say they don't like it. I'm enjoying it. So I'm kind of going between Space Marine and Star Wars Outlaws right now, as
Very
well
cool.
as the sports game. So yeah.
Yeah, I need to pick up the Space Marine game. I haven't done it yet, but I'm planning on it. But I just haven't had a chance to pick that up yet.
I had no interest in it at all until I started to see gameplay on Twitter. I was like, "Yo, this game looks like this. I might go ahead and need to buy this damn game." And I bought it, and I'm enjoying it. Definitely.
Definitely, it looks really good. Hargeet, look, we've hit over 300 people watching us right now. That is awesome. So, between X and YouTube, thank you all so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate that. Hargeet, watching anything, playing anything?
Playing anything, yes. I've been kind of like going through my smaller games, trying to finish them up. I don't know what I left off with on this show, but I finished Will Die Alone, Palindrome Syndrome, and Afterglitch, and I'm working through and Murder Diaries. I finished that, and I'm working through what was the name? American Hero. See if I can get those done. So I have a whole bunch of smaller games, and I'm just like kind of trying to finish through. Since you mentioned Star Wars, should I show them the crawl?
Sure, you got to read it though. If you do,
I gotta read it. Okay.
Well, if you
here we go.
More pertinent, I'll put it full screen. Here we go.
we go.
Welcome, Mav.
Hey, what's up?
A fortnight ago, in a pony stable nearby. Now, this does actually have the music, but we can't use the music because then we'll get copyright stricken. So. PlayStation. The rise of the. It's a period of civil war. The pony stables are stampeding on each other over the state of the PlayStation Nation. After a series of losses with factions 2, Twisted Metal, and Spider-Man Multiverses, the nation struggles to maintain PSVR 2, Destruction All-Stars, Foam Stars, and Babylon's Fall. Concord has fallen, and the stables are now divided. Many of the nation's allies have betrayed them and are turning to their adversaries for help. The PlayStation Nation now turns its attention towards a new attack vessel, one equipped with the all-new Pisser technology to turn the tides of war in their favor. With their new arsenal, the nation hopes to attract new talent games to enlist to bolster their dwindling forces. With this new will this new weapon turn the tides for the nation? The struggle continues.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Now we just need to. What you need to do is get that the chat thing where AI chat where you can use the voice of. was it? Oh my gosh, he just passed away.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Yeah, I was going to say Darth Vader, but was like, well, that's the character, but that's not the actor.
Right, it's not the guy.
Yeah, that's not the guy. Oh goodness. Well, hey, we got to welcome out Mav. Mav, welcome, buddy.
Yo, sorry I'm late. As I think this is the second time in a row that I've been a guest here that I've been late, so I apologize for that. But I am here and ready to have some fun. We got Dirt and Hargeet and Dave. It's going to be a blast on a Sunday, even though I am a little down because, well, my Cowboys got their butts whooped today.
Oh,
that was bad. That was
my
bad.
Lions lost also, but not like that.
Yeah, not like that. I haven't seen. I mean, it was like every drive is just long touchdown, and they couldn't do anything on defense. It was crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that you're down a little bit, but you do have something to celebrate, which was Friday night's big, I guess, landmark for your show, which is 200 episodes. Dude, tell everybody about that real quick, and what that means to you, man. To reach that, that's a milestone, dude.
Yeah, it was really cool, man, because you when you start in this thing, you start a podcast, and when I started, I didn't know anybody in the community at all. I just was a guy that wanted to start an Xbox podcast because I liked listening to them on like Spotify and stuff like that, right? And I wasn't really familiar with YouTube. YouTube was just another place to put it, So, but as I kind of got involved and I started to get to know everybody, all the other shows, and we kind of understood what this community, and I discovered people like Dirt that was recommended that I check out WBG, and I discovered Iron Lords, and I discovered like all these shows, right? And like, it's like, wow, this community is amazing. And then everybody kind of is supportive and, gives you advice and shares stuff out and talks to you, invites you on to their shows, and you invite them on and stuff. And it's just like a big tight knit community. That's something I never had expected, but it kind of just grew over the years, right? And now looking back, it's crazy. It's been 4 years over since we started, of me doing a little pre-recorded show by myself, and to having multiple shows with tons of people that are like family to me and stuff. So like, it's kind of like you see those shows that you looked up to when you started and you learned about, and you saw their milestones and stuff. And now it's like, hey, you've reached that yourself at something like 200, and to see people like Dirt come on, and King David came by, Mr. Boomstick, who always been crazy supportive, came by, our bro Umbra came by, we had some fun with him, and then Colt Eastwood came by, and anybody that was available just came through. So it was just a fun kind of celebration for the show and for the channel and stuff. So yeah, man, it's honored for everybody in the chat and stuff. But yeah, it was a blast to have a show like that,
Well, congratulations, man.
Hey,
well
thank
deserved.
you, sir. Yeah, I sent you an invite too. I know you're busy.
Yep.
You had to work,
but I was like, I did a super chat before I had to leave to go to work.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I respect everything you're doing here and the channel and you got going on, and it's a great watch every week, man. And I'm glad that whenever I'm able to be here as a guest and you send the invite, and it's always a pleasure, dude.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that greatly. We got over 368 people watching on X and on YouTube. So, and X is freaking blowing up tonight, man. 230 some people on X watching us. So
nice,
cool. Welcome, appreciate you. But yeah, man, what a great show. We got a couple of we're getting to these topics right now, I promise. But we got a couple of quick super chats that were thrown at us. Let's see.
Red Wolf, $2. Hey, Red. Honest thoughts on Dragon Age Veilguard. You a fan? Is that to any specific person? I mean, I like Dragon Age. I've liked the Dragon Age series, so looking forward to Veilguard as well. But that's out in a couple of months. I don't know if there's like a beta or something, or
I think
something like that. But
October 31st, I think, is like it's just launching on Halloween. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be one of these games that, like, Inquisition wasn't really what we all expected for Dragon Age, or what we were looking forward to. We were expecting another traditional Dragon Age game, right? And then they came out with Inquisition, And I was like kind of on the fence about it at first because it was different. It was more actiony and stuff than traditionally what Dragon Age was. And I was a big BioWare fan going back to like Neverwinter Nights and stuff, like the traditional CRPGs and stuff that they made, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, all that stuff. So when I saw Dragon Age was going more actiony and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, that's not what I want. But it ended up being amazing. That won multiple Game of the Year awards from many in the games media and stuff. And I think Dragon Age Veilguard is right now like has that chance to kind of flip people's perspective. Right now, it has a lot of people on the fence about what it is because it's different again for the franchise. But it's been a franchise that's always kind of changed throughout time. And right now, the graphics look great. The characters look pretty interesting and stuff. And I just want to see the Dragon Age franchise continue strong. So I'm hoping it's good. I'll get it day one. I just don't want to preconceive judge it before I get to play it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I thought there was kind of a nice little comment there from Adele. Hargeet, can you read that one?
Sure. Talk that shit, Mav. I love watching your one-on-one show with well, I assume he means Pong Soul, but it's a Song Pole.
And then he read
Song Pole. Song Pole. I'm gonna use that. It's amazing.
Shit. And then there's one more super chat, and then we're gonna jump in these topics.
All right, Red again with $2. I must
Red.
know how Dirt keeps his head looking so. Is that Chinese? Is that what
I think so.
Can't even tell what that.
It's just a light, man. I actually need to shave my head. I actually got hair on my head. You can't see it. It's a little bit.
Little stubble.
That's a lie.
Real fine.
No, bro, I got a little stubble on my hair right now.
Do you have just enough to try and reverse the glare a little bit?
Yeah, listen, man.
I think it was fine. I guess I don't know. It's like
it wasn't
shiny
glare right there.
You can get some shoe polish.
You look good, though. You look good.
Shoe polish.
Man, so mean. Wow.
Shoe polish.
Dud, these are your friends,
Oh my
Dud.
God.
Dud.
Oh man. No respect, man.
No,
I love it, man.
I'll tell you, I get no respect.
You can rock that look. I can't rock that look, man.
No, really.
No,
you
no.
want to raise his hand? You want to raise it?
My hairline's like right here.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to save it as much as possible, so I just wear a hat all the time. I've always wore hats all the time.
Well, yeah, mine would be there too if I let my hair grow. So I'll just shave it off. Mine would be back here.
Yeah, it's tough. Of course, the big mystery is what's under Hargeet's hat, but we're not going to worry about that one. I'm just kidding. Pull it off. He's got a big fro.
It's all hair up here. It's just all hair, whatever. But
there you go.
Yeah,
it's so thick it grows around his face. I mean, he makes it look like a beard.
well, it goes down, like probably mostly down to my waist. So it's
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But whatever.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
fitting
awesome.
though. I'm getting older, so there's not as much lusciousness to it.
Speaking of hair, everybody's been talking about the Dragon Age hair on Twitter.
Oh my gosh,
What's
really?
up with the hair?
They're talking about how great the hair is, but then other people are like saying, "Oh, it's like, why do we care about how good hair is?" and stuff, and then like the whole like black person hair things come into the conversation again about like them focusing on that, and then other people are like, we don't even need to care to focus on that with games. Like, why does that even matter? Like, it's just this whole stupid thing going back and forth on Twitter, man. It's like this ridiculous conversations never stop. But you just look at the graphics, it's like, hey, actually the hair looks really great. So
exactly. So I'm gonna play this little clip just to get us started on our first big topic, which is the PlayStation 5 Pro, and of course we now know that it is real, but kind of expensive a little bit. But here's a little clip from a website that thinks it's justified because of the quality. I think is what would be said. and what? So let's we'll throw this up here and see what y'all think.
Oh shit.
So this is for Tanga. I love him. He's funny.
Don't do it, J.
Craig is listen.
Don't do it.
Craig is not saying anything that RDX didn't say when they said that they was gonna get 40 to 30 frames
Yeah.
delta.
But we not RDP.
That's all I'm saying.
But we're not RDP. We're not real deal PlayStation. We're not.
I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. Let
RDP.
Don't
do it.
It's more powerful.
Astro Boy. What's his name? Astro Boy.
Eastwood.
Yo,
If it was good for Cole Eastwood, it's good for Craig.
Oh man, they got you clipped, dog. That's it.
That's fine. I want him to clip me.
Oh
yeah, you clipped up. That's 100%. They in here. On a $1,500 for a card. What numbnut nibby does that?
Yo.
He complains about $700. So yeah, come at
Forte.
me. Come at me, bro.
All right, hold on. All
Oh,
right.
yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
Forte. Hey,
My first reaction is, do they not know how to make the Discord full screen?
Yeah.
Like, they're talking about tech and stuff. Can we like get rid of the whole side and stuff and just focus on the cameras? Anyway, I don't know.
I don't get why PlayStation guys always go after PC. I don't get that. I mean, I understand them going after Xbox, the console war stuff. Now, PC guys, they're kind of, they do talk shit sometime, but PlayStation guys always go after PC. I mean, I just saw somebody post, I'm about to do an analysis and it's going to hurt PC guys' feeling about the PS5 Pro. Why do they always go after PC? I don't know why. I don't know. I just don't get it.
I'm with you. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's weird because like didn't a lot of those guys say they have high-end PCs to play Xbox games?
Yeah. I remember back in 2016 now, like this is like before you guys really joined this community, right? I was just a guy in the chat, and those guys clearly was like, yo, man, when Xbox announced they're putting their games with PC, I'll never buy an Xbox. I'll just play it on my PC, and I have a high-end PC. Okay. You have a high-end PC. That's what, so they all said they had a high-end PC, so I don't know.
So now they're downplaying the PCs and saying that the PS5 is gonna be better than their PC.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep. I really don't get that. Like, just brag about the PS5 Pro. Say this, this, but they always go after PC. Say, yeah, this is comparable to a 4070. I just don't get why they always do that, man.
Yeah, really but even that whole discussion of like, it's comparable to a 4070, because like, there's laptops that have stuff like 4070s and 4080s, 4090s, but it's not the same even as like a desktop. You know what I mean? Like, so at that point, if you say like GPU power or whatever and just focus on the GPU, there's a lot of other things that go into effect there that actually affect how the performance of the machine runs and stuff. And I think there's a little bit too much focus from these guys on trying to say this is like a 4070 or a 3080 or whatever stuff they come up with, because ultimately it's not really going to measure up 100% one-to-one to any kind of PC because it's a console. And at the end of the day, it's a console that's trying to be more PC-like as they've been building them over the years, right? But there's still a console. It has different custom components inside and everything. It's more streamlined, so you get a little bit more efficiency with some things, but then also there's less power because it's a lot smaller, right? So at the end of the day, what is it exactly going to perform like? The games will tell. And just like we were sold a bunch of stuff at the beginning of this generation, how these consoles were going to run 4K 60 on everything, this is not going to be like they're being sold right now. But I can still say that if you want your games to play a little bit better and you have the extra cash, and that's the kind of person you are, that you're willing to spend to play every game just a little bit better. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Like, hey, it's cool. Go for it. Right. You're the enthusiast that it's being marketed for, but don't go out there and like try and do all this misinformation using all these dumbass acronyms and stuff that they try and sell you that, and try and hype up stuff like the ray tracing and the AI stuff and all these other things. We don't know yet. We don't know exactly how it's all going to play out. So let's just see how it performs. And I'm sure Digital Foundry will have a field day letting us know on every single game that comes out how the PS5 Pro performs. And we'll see the benefit then. And I think for some people, it'll just be, hey, does it justify it? And the other thing is, it's not going to matter on the actual first party exclusive games because there are none. right? Let's just be real. There's no roadmap for actually a PlayStation first party single player third person action adventure game that they're being told even by their own company that's all that matters. There's no lineup for any of that. So ultimately what's going to come down to is for these people and playing their third parties a little bit better, right? The games that have been struggling to have a smooth resolution or a smooth frame rate, games that may be going to achieve that as opposed to what they've been getting, and you're going to be a benefit there. So, but first party wise, the fact that they showcased that damn thing and didn't have a show to actually celebrate the reason to buy for your games looking forward.
Yep.
And the only games they showed were old PlayStation first party games, and even the examples they showed there were horrible justifications because those games all already have performance fidelity and performance RT modes, and they look good. They don't really need any better version of a console or anything like that to look slightly better. There's a horrible justification of the presentation, man, just overall.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like I said, before you go, WEBDAVE and Hargeet, like I said this several times on my show, last generation, the mid-gen refreshes made sense, right? There was a huge uptick in 4K TVs being purchased, and the consoles we had, the Xbox One and the PS4, we know the PS4 went to 1080p, the Xbox One 900p, sometimes 720p. So those consoles made a lot of sense to go up to 4K, with the Xbox One X. Some games ran in native 4K, but when I bought the Xbox One X and turned it on, I immediately saw the resolution jump. And at that time, it made a lot of sense. Plus, the price of those consoles was the same as the launch prices, right? Xbox One was $500, Xbox One X was $500, PS4 was $400, PS4 Pro was $400. So they made a lot of sense. But like Mav said, this time, in my opinion, the PS5 Pro doesn't make a lot of sense. There's already performance mode. So if spending $700 to $800 just to get a higher resolution on your performance modes, if that's worth it to you, that's your prerogative. But it just doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense this generation. I don't get it personally. I think Xbox made a better decision not to do it and just go start next generation a little bit earlier than usual. But that's just my opinion about the whole thing. It's crazy.
I agree 100%. Hargeet, what's your thoughts?
It's a rather unusual presentation. I was expecting more technical information, and then maybe normally you see here's a game we worked on that kind of took advantage of this from day one, right? We've been working on trying to take advantage of the new capabilities, right? That you showcase before and after that actually shows you something cool. What they showed was so mediocre. You're like, it's hard to even tell what the hell's the difference. Who's gonna buy this for that, right? And then if it's okay, it went from 500 with the drive right now to 600. Okay, but you're asking for a $200 premium plus the drive, maybe about 800-ish bucks. Geez, is it really showing? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it had a hook, right? Anything to say this is the game that's gonna make you want to buy this. Here it is. They didn't show anything coming up, right? That any game that's in the next 3-4 months, whatever, it says, here's why. Or even take Astro that just came out a week ago and say, here's Astro with the PS5 Pro, enhancements enabled, and you can see the difference between they didn't do anything like that. They showed you old ass PS4 games. And they showed you Dragon's Dogma 2, which is I think it's on the RE engine or something. It's this is all old stuff. None of this is going to show you anything that's going to give you a reason to say, here's the bump you're getting. We know the CPU isn't substantially better, so it's not going to do anything there. But, if the GPU gave you something like the ray tracing, let's say it's supposed to be much better. Okay, show me. They showed you Hogwarts with ray tracing at 30 frames. And you're like, but I can already do that on the PS5. I can do that on the Series X. What are you showing me that's better? They didn't even show the before and after. And the presentation was just nonsense. 9 minutes, out of which first few minutes are all on PS5 recap, which again would have been fine if you had like 30 more minutes of like, this is why you want the Pro, and they didn't get into it. And I just found that presentation. Well, first, Cerny sucks as a presenter. He just can't.
pretty dull.
Present. I don't
Terrible.
know. He's just too low tone, continuous. This is our big three. You should be excited about our big three. It's like, come on, dude. Add any level of energy so that people are hooked to what you're saying. They should just have somebody else present that shit. But either way, if you get past him, right, then they should have had something that showed you the reasons why. Either the tech side, here's exactly what the specs are. They didn't do that. Or the visual side, here's what it's going to look like back and forth between this and that. And they did that for a few old games where it's like, well, those games have already been up-resed because they went from PS4 to 5. So what are you doing? Like, where's the new stuff that shows me why? You just had Space Marine 2 just totally destroy your PS5. It can't maintain 60. You're seeing those. Why not bring that up and say, oh, by the way, on the Pro, you'll get a stable 60? Well, apparently they're not, because if they were, then they would have just showed it. So maybe you're not even going to get a stable 60 on the Pro, which just shows you how crap it is. Like, either the thing just doesn't work, or they need a lot more work from the developers to make it work. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think they usually do a good job with their dev kit, so it should be relatively straightforward, but maybe it just doesn't perform. And then you're just like, well, what the heck's the point then? Well, what am I getting? Are UE5 games going to run better or not? Show me, right? And then I hear all this chatter about, oh, the 4090 is being destroyed by this. You might as well just say, NASA's going to give up on supercomputers. They're going to buy PS5 Pros. Like, Jesus, guys, slow down. Let's see what the thing does. Like you're saying, Mav, I want the DF teardown. I want to see what it does. Compare it to everything else. Show me where it is. What is it actually doing? There's a lot of paperware here. We don't know what the actual output's going to be. So wait. Pisser is brand new. We don't know what it's going to do. We don't know how well it's going to work. Oh, you can still use FSR. Now you're going to do two up-resing technologies at the same time. Is that going to conflict? Is it going to work fine? We don't know. So let's just wait. Let's wait and find out. On top of that, they get the nice little news that AMD is releasing FSR 4, which does AI enhanced upscaling. So their one little thing there goes away. Now, back to what Dealer was saying in that clip, right? What we were told was AIML exists, and Microsoft worked with AMD to put that in, and that would give you some of those capabilities to do AI upscaling. But I don't know if we've seen it at all. I don't know if it's ever been done. It may be total vaporware, right? Or maybe FSR 4 will take advantage of it. We just don't know, right? So let's just see what happens. We'll see where things go, right? This is not going to beat a 4090. Okay, when we talk about ray tracing, there are 4 modes of ray tracing, and the PlayStation doesn't even implement one of them, which is path tracing. So come on, right? I don't know that they're going to give you all 3 at the same time. Will it be able to at 60 frames? Is it still going to be 30 frames? Then you hear that, oh, wait, not all games, even on the Pro, are going to do 60 frames.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, just wait. Like, it's just a minor upgrade. Again, this time it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like you guys were saying, last time it was about going to 4K, and it did meet that ceiling, right? You did actually get games that rezzed up to 4K. Maybe not fully, but you did get a whole bunch that were higher than the 1080 threshold, and then they could up-res a bit and give you a 4K presentation, which was pretty cool. Yeah. But this time, we're already there, and it's like, well, you're telling me that 75% of the gamers already do performance mode, which means they don't care enough about the graphics that they're willing to just forego the graphics and play it performance mode. Yeah. Well, wait, so then who you're targeting is like the 25%? Maybe some of those 75% would care to have an up-res for $700? Like, you have to be kidding me, right? So this is the stuff that makes it tough, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, there are going to be enthusiasts, 100%. There are going to be enthusiasts that'll go buy it. Well, first waves are going to be all scalpers, right? We all know that's going to be the case. But, beyond that, yes, there are going to be enthusiasts that buy it. But I don't think it's going to sell even as well as the PS4 Pro or the One X, because I think those had price. There's you literally are costing about as much as both of those. It's like, come on, it's nuts. And you have to then think about, like, what were they gaining? It was visually obvious. Whereas here it's like, Okay, if I take a magnifying glass, okay, I see like a little bit. Like, what the heck is that? Nobody's gonna care, right? You
Yeah.
have to show
Zooming
something that's
in
gonna make a difference.
1000%.
Look at these
Yeah.
colorful aliens way in the back. If you zoom
In
in,
some cases-
5,000, you can actually see they're slightly more clear on this one.
Yeah.
In some cases, you saw the graphics were better on the
I thought
PS5
so,
because they had
too.
the shadows that were actually there, whereas
Mhm.
the PS5 Pro wasn't showing them. And you're like, well, was that just a glitch? Probably, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
right? But then why did you show it? Like,
Uh-huh.
That's the thing. See, like Hargeet, you're 100% right. That's the thing. I'm sure it will get better, right? But they showed those games.
Exactly.
Now, I'm
That's
not sure
their
if
choice.
you have this as a specific topic, Dave, but we seen like some people watch Digital Foundry Patreon and
Mhm.
they broke down what they showed at the reveal of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Sony chose to show those games in that state. Show
Yep.
Alan Wake 2 running at 864p. Like, they chose to show that. People say, well, it's going to get better. Yeah, it probably will. They probably will have a, like some type of update, some PS5 Pro update later. But they chose to show those games at its reveal. We didn't do
It's
it.
just crazy, man.
It was
It's
just
crazy.
it just telling, right? That because if you go back to like 2016 when PlayStation had maybe their best showcase ever, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was like an insane showcase. They had such a huge roadmap for games to look forward to for the next couple years. They were all coming out. They were all fresh, right? And it was like, wow, this is actually pretty nuts that they got all this stuff cooking, right? And now we have this reveal for the PS5 Pro with absolutely nothing except, hey, it'll play these old games a little bit better and maybe some of the new ones. We at least Assassin's Creed Shadows is announced they're supporting it, and it's like we kind of need more than that to get excited. And usually that excitement from PlayStation side comes from their first party.
Yeah.
So the fact that they actually had this PS5 Pro reveal tells me that the hardware team was on one page and has been on track and doing everything. But the game development side of PlayStation is still in turmoil and is way behind schedule on a lot of things, probably because of their whole games as service ambitions and the cancellations and their wasted time on PSVR 2 and the things that they were doing there. And they were just so distracted during this first 4 years doing remasters, remakes, and all this other stuff that I just mentioned that they're behind the ball on actually getting the games that they say their gamers care about the most. And they don't have anything to present. Like Ghost of Tsushima 2, like you don't even have that to show, like to promote for next year, for like, hey, this is a reason why you need a PS5 Pro because that'll be like 4K 60 only. Ghost of Tsushima will be 4K 60 only on the PS5 Pro, like something like that. Like,
Yeah.
it gives some kind of great selling point justification on what to look forward to in the future. Because remember, they said who cares about old games, right? Right?
That was
didn't they
Jim
say?
Ryan.
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
that, but like that's what they choose to showcase their new console with.
Is all old games.
Man,
And to your point
argument.
about the so go ahead. Yeah, to your point about like the games that are being developed, Jim Ryan pivoted them. That was a big problem. Jim Ryan pivoted them to making gas games, and those failed. They canceled them, right? So, and the ones that came out, Concord, where's that? Oh, whoops. Destruction All Stars. How'd that? Oh, I'm sorry. You could keep going. The only one that worked was Helldivers 2, and then they screwed that up. Right? Like you can't, like, I don't know. Like, so now they have to pivot again and figure out how to make the games that they normally did. And hopefully they didn't lose a lot of talent in the interim. And they hopefully will get those out sometime soon, but you're looking at a delay. There's just no way out of it. There's gonna be some years of like just nothing, and that's just the way it is. So Marathon, Fair Games, those are coming. Potentially Venom, which is supposed to be like the DLC of Spider-Man 2. That might be coming next year, maybe later. And then I don't know when Wolverine comes, right? We're not even like the stuff that got leaked was terrible. I don't know if people saw what it was. The PC version that was leaked was like, that is not what we're looking for. So I don't know what they're planning to do. That must be probably a very early, let's take Spider-Man's engine and try to put Wolverine in it. Okay, fair enough. But like they need to really revamp that to make it a Wolverine world. And hopefully they do. So I don't know when the hell that's coming. And like you're saying, Ghost of Tsushima 2, that's possibly due next year, maybe the year after, but we need a reveal. And what we're hearing is now we're going to get a state of play. So this is your chance to tell us what's coming up next year. And what are they telling us?
Yeah, deer in the headlights.
I heard that state of play is going to be mostly independent and third party stuff.
Yeah,
that's what's been going around. So because that's what they want to showcase.
And you know, maybe in that state of play, they do have some games that are upcoming that do take advantage of the Pro. Okay, cool. But you needed to pick one of them and show it here.
Yeah,
you have to show it as part of your reveal, because now everybody has this sour taste of like, oh, well, that was terrible. Why am I going to bother spending $700? Right. And then on top of that, you're like, oh, well, it doesn't come with the disc drive. Oh, it doesn't even come with the stand.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We got a couple of super chats. I'm gonna jump on real quick
Pro,
so we can.
Oh man.
So we can get.
And I'm bashing it, but I shouldn't bash it. But like they need to do a better job showcasing why.
No, you're right. You're right. And we got a clip from Colt that's actually kind of good. We're going to play here in just a second. But one of his memes he put out. But welcome out the over 877 people that are watching us right now on X and on YouTube. We have over 636 on X watching us and over 246 watching us on YouTube right now. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much. And just right before we get to these super chats, I just want to say, if it's your first time joining us, if you can, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And we're blessed to have with us the very talented and informative and TTSer, Dirt Griggity, and of course the man from the man with the rants, MAV rants, MAV from Fun Speculation here as well as Hargeet Chani, the ultimate legend. So guys, like I said, welcome, and it's over 900 people are watching this now, guys. Wow. So this is pretty cool. Wow. So let's get to these super chats real quick.
All right, Profit, $5. I'm pretty sure I can't run multiple VM and Docker on AA console, hence why I spend the money to building a PC. Yeah, there is a lot to that. PCs are obviously a lot more versatile. Also, for those not looking at the obvious, in games on console, they're pretty locked to what you're allowed to change. So it's whatever performance target they set for you from the developer side. On the PC side, that's generally not the case. You get to change things as much as you want. So even on a ROG Ally that's not very powerful, you can still get 60, 80, 100 frames by toggling things that you don't need, right? So just, the way it is. Onyx Gaming, $2. Y'all getting the 864p beast to play shiny PS4 games? Yeah, to your point there. Yeah.
That's
unfortunately. Maxi Coleman, 50. I don't know what that is, ARS, but oh my God, WebDave and MAV are not the same person.
Oh,
well, actually, I had MAV as my AI, and, set up in a different window.
Yes, absolutely,
exactly, and that's how I'm able to talk at the same time he is. Just kidding. Mav is a very handsome young man, and I'm a fugly, fucking ugly old man.
Dave is my uncle.
Uncle. Hey, Mav, come over here and sit on Uncle Dave's lap. Come on.
My God!
Damn.
No, thank you. No, one of those.
Tell me what you want for Christmas. What would you like to
boy.
Oh boy.
Coming down your chimney. Anyway, all right. So
that's Santa. No,
stop it.
Also, no more, please.
No, he's like, oh, that's it. I'm kidding. Okay, man's like, I left the show. What happened? So anyway, and this is a big one. He didn't say anything. Just put a big Transformer type super sticker in. Thank you so much. Lotus is free, $50, dude. Thank you so much, Lotus. We greatly appreciate you, and of course, you're always a big supporter of the community of all our shows, and thank you so much for that. We appreciate.
It's like one of those. Oh no, it's Alex. Oh, do you have to like dance now?
Exactly. Do I have to dance? Hargeet, I'm not taking my shirt off. We don't want to lose our audience.
We don't want to do that. We'll lose audience members.
One more super chat.
Sarcastic Taurus.
I'll get this one. I'll get this one, Hargeet. Sarcastic Taurus with the 5. If you like this content, please hit the like button. So when my black ass goes live. That's how I end my videos.
I know.
I know you know, Dave.
I love it.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
Hit
the like button.
Now, did you intend to sound like Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, man, this I've been doing this for at least 4 years now. Into my videos like that. I did it one time and I was like, that was pretty funny. I'm just keep on doing that, and I've been doing it for like 4 straight years, though.
Yeah, it's a monarchy. I love it. One more super chat jumped up.
The Angry Therapist MD, $5. The PS3 gave you more for $600 than what this PS5 Pro is giving. This is just the beginning. Sony is going to nickel and dime their fan base to death. Look, you have one interesting point. This is something that I was thinking too, is if you have like the PS5 Pro, that it's going to come with PS1, 2, 3 native game compatibility. Like that would be a big deal. But they didn't even do that. Didn't even get that. So
as far as price, it would have been better received from the community for me if they had done a 1 terabyte hard drive and put in a disk drive with a stand and had it around like 600 to 650, right? And pricing wise, they would have been able to do that, I think, because the SSD is a lot more expensive to manufacture than the disk drive and the stand, right? So if you were to be able to get the price a little bit less and you give people that disk drive, I think people would have been pretty happy. But the consumers that buy the most into digital, right? So if anything,
you're botting just a little bit, man.
It's that, right?
Yeah, you definitely botting.
It's going to be more expensive hardware because these companies aren't willing to subsidize them as much as they used to because they don't need to, right? Yeah. PlayStation doesn't need to because of the market position. Xbox doesn't need to because they are making so much money with everything else that the console is just a part of it, right? So none of these companies need to take that huge loss. Nintendo's never done that, right? They're just like, hey.
Well, no, they did when they tried to compete with PlayStation originally.
Way
so
back
did that with N64 and then the GameCube, and they're like, yo, PlayStation just keeps stealing the games. We don't get all the revenue. We're not doing that anymore. Sorry.
Yeah. So like the Switch, I mean, I don't even know how much it costs them to make a Switch, but like they're still selling that for a crazy amount of profit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
they all sell on profit and Switch on profit.
And the Switch 2, you can imagine, is going to be a little bit probably more expensive, and it's going to be very profitable at launch. So like that's just the day and age we're going to be going with consoles. So pricing wise, I'm not like as overreacting as far as that because the current consoles we have still haven't gone down, right? And that's a lot of it's because the economy, the price of the parts, the fact that they're not willing to subsidize anymore, and all these other kind of things. In fact, they've actually made them cheaper as far as PlayStation goes and taken stuff away and still charge the same price, if not more, right? And then now we have this. So the price doesn't surprise me, especially with the 2 terabyte. It's just that it's a sign of where it's going to be. When the next gen console comes out, it's going to be like that. So but you're going to have the higher end consoles, and what I'm hoping is they still have some other options that are more affordable for consumers because not everybody's going to be able to go out and buy a $700 console, right?
Hey, man, like before you go, Dave, I was watching Jeff Grubb last night on Xbox Air podcast. He was saying he feels if Xbox and PlayStation could go back to the start of this generation, they would have priced both consoles at $600 instead of $500. That's what he said. That's what he feels. I don't know if he heard that from someone, but he said he feels they would have priced it at $600. So what you just said, Mav, I totally agree with it. Doodle Jenkins did tell me that Xbox is aiming for $600. Yeah. But you know, that might be difficult, but we'll see what happens in the future. But like you said, Mav, these consoles are going to go up, and the PS5 Pro is just the beginning. But at least when Xbox next console drops, it's going to be a new generation. This is just a mid-gen refresh going for over $700. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that.
Well, we read a couple of these quick super chats, and then we'll hear from Doodoo Jenkins real quick.
The Angry Therapist MD $2. The fact that they didn't change the CPU is wild. Well, if they change the CPU, it changes kind of the characteristics of the game, and I don't think they want a difference between the PS5 and the Pro. King Web $2. Xbox S is the potato, then PS Pro is the lemon. Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go. I think I might want to read
this one. Oh, go for it.
P Lump with the 5 Dark, man. I don't know if you are my shadow or if I'm your shadow at this point. You every damn where. Hey man, people ask me to come on that show, man. I show up, man. You know what I'm saying? P Lump, you
is the man.
You piece of shit.
POS.
No, man. Shout out to the homie P Lump, man.
P Lump is good man. He's a good man.
That's the homie.
So yeah.
All right, Danny Passion Official, $5. Dirt said that I subscribed later. I disagreed on a topic, and his mods blocked me.
Oh shit! What you say?
He probably said, I hate Xbox.
Yeah, my mods has a quick trigger. You know what I'm saying? What did you say?
Yeah,
Dirt had to like try and protect me a couple times in the chat from me getting sniped.
Yeah, I was like, don't block mad, man. What's wrong with you?
That wasn't even anything that I said on your show. That was just stuff I said on my show.
I had to tell my mom, I was, look, y'all, we don't block disgruntled Xbox guys. You know, we block the ponies. Disgruntled Xbox guy, that's different. You know what I'm saying? If the ponies coming there and say, yeah, Xbox is trash, y'all trash. Yeah, block them. Don't block Xbox guy. Like, man, I was like, yo, bring him back. What are you doing, man? Don't block a guy because what was that last? Well, with the Indiana Jones stuff, some like some people was like, yo, man, Xbox on that bullshit. Don't block them, bro. I'm mad about it. Don't block those guys.
Right.
Man. You don't block a disgruntled Xbox fan.
Oh goodness!
All right, Dave Reezy, member for 4 months. Happy Saturday! Saturday, isn't it Sunday? To WebDave, Dirt, Hargeet, and Chat.
It depends on where he's at in the world. He may be in.
I mean, aren't we at the end of the world?
We are. And check what else he did there, buddy. Look at that.
Dave Reezy gifted 5 WebDave memberships. Thank you so much. Let's see if I can find out where they are. Okay, Danny Passion. No, that was just his laughing. Drake Williams, Duke, Togo 13, 1 Pint Johnny, Crazy Donut, and Ghost Fixter.
Welcome, one and all. We appreciate Day Rizzy. Thank you so much, sir. And now, if you're a member, whether it's gifted or if you want to join on your own, it's only $1, and you have access to all of these emojis, which I'm getting ready to throw up on the screen right now, including TTS, and we have the Fallout guy, and we even have a Pony Tears, and and our version of Reggie. But so there you go. Yeah, dude. Just so everybody knows, right now, guys, we have over 1,120 people watching us on X and on YouTube. Over 850 plus are on X. That's the biggest X audience we've had to date. So thank you guys. Appreciate everybody being here, listening to us, watching. Share it out. Hit the subscribe button. Like it. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We're just about 50 away from getting to 3K on there, and we appreciate that. And before I play Doo Jenkins, one more super chat, and then we'll play some Doo Jenkins.
Andy Hart, £5. I'm guessing. I'm assuming does the panel believe the Series S is holding back Series X?
No.
So I think it might hold it back in tuning and fine tuning, but it's fine, right? It is what it is. But in a lot of cases, say they'll do a lot more tuning on the PS5 to make sure it's perfect over there. There's also just Microsoft isn't as like the development kit isn't as easy as it is on PlayStation side. So it's just easier to port to PlayStation. And so they automatically turn on everything for the developer. So it just kind of does a lot of things for them, which makes it a lot easier to port to. And then they fine tune there because it's a larger install base. And then they go over to the Xbox side and they tune to the Series S first because you have to. It's the most challenging part because it's got the lower specs, right? So they go to that, and then here comes the Series X. And a lot of times they just let it grunt it. If they actually make the effort, then it does pretty well. So I think it does maybe 3/4 of the time they do actually do the Series X thing, but a quarter of the time you're going to find people just say, let it grunt it out and whatever.
The whole thing is so overblown with the Series S because anytime there's anything that happens, it's just brought up in the conversation, whether it's justified or not. And it becomes part of the conversation. And it's like, well, I remember when that caused a problem. Well, that wasn't actually the problem. It was just part of the conversation that was a community narrative at the time. And because there's been so much community narrative on all these different ones and speculation that Series S is that to blame here, Series S is to blame here. It's become this like artificial reality in people's minds that exists, but it's there's only one game it's ever actually been a problem for, and that was Baldur's Gate 3, right? Yeah. And other than that,
it out when they talked to him, right?
Exactly.
When they talked to Xbox, they're like, oh, that's how we do it. Cool, and that made it better for everybody.
The Black Myth Wukong thing, everybody blames the Series S, but it's come out by like 5 or 6 different
Uh-oh, you're botting again.
You're botting again.
That it's actually a money hat deal from PlayStation behind the scenes, that there's no marketing behind it or whatever, that's why. Then you have the whole thing beforehand with the Avowed that got brought up. Well, we're at 30 frames or whatever, or 25, and then it turned out it was at 35 or whatever, and that whole conversation. You have the Rocksteady developer that was always criticizing it beforehand when they were trying to defend WB Montreal for Gotham Knights being 30 frames, and they were trying to put some of the blame on Xbox and Series S and stuff. But that turned out, guess what? Rocksteady's own game, Suicide Squad, runs at 60 frames and is really well optimized on the Series X, and it's actually extremely polished and is way more advanced than Gotham Knights was. So like every single one of these things, you can just like, well, okay, that was bullshit. That was bullshit. That was bullshit. That was bullshit. Yeah. That was bullshit. Except for the conversation that people have, that's become this like thing. And it's become so much of a thing that they point to those examples every single time they bring up this conversation as like, oh yeah, Black Myth Wukong. Oh yeah, they'll love this. And it's like, well, but that turned out not to be true. That turned out to be BS. It turned out to be fake. Like, it's just because it's been continued so much this generation that it's infected the mind where perceptions become reality. And if you tell me that we just want the devs to be able to brute force everything, we don't want them to have to optimize anything anymore, that's like, what are we asking for, really? That the whole conversation of the PS5 Pro, are they going to be able to take advantage of it? That comes down to optimization in of itself as well. Like, you should want the games to perform the best on the platforms that they're being made for, regardless of what it is. My argument this entire generation has been that a lot of the development priorities are backwards. And you can even point to the PS5 Pro presentation where Mark Sony said that 3/4 of gamers choose performance mode, right? And then you have developers like Avowed's developers come out and say, well, we're not really concerned with 60 frames. We're just concerned with 30 because who really cares, right? It's like you got to flip that. They got to flip that in their minds that the gamers actually care about that stuff and start caring about the optimization more so during the development process, instead of just cram as much fidelity, bells and whistles and acronyms and all this other crap in.
He's botting again.
Series S or Series X and the PS5. Oh, it's running at 20 frames. Crap. I guess we put too much in here. Let's scale it back a little bit. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So until they really kind of start thinking about how they're developing these games and focus on the optimization really, really well, because the games that do the best usually are the most well optimized at launch also, right? Like they feel good, they play good, they look good. Fidelity wise, we've been in a good place since the Xbox One and PS4 generation. People want to play their games and have a great experience. So until they keep the PS5 Pro, if it gets more power, they'll probably have some extra fidelity modes that they're going to cram in there, right? So we don't know how they're going to take advantage of it, right? So it just comes down to optimization. And I'm never going to say, the Series S is a problem because it forces them to optimize.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think it's more work for the developers, so they use it as
of course it is.
That's what I think it is. It's just more work for them.
So it's just like, hey, let's make it easier. Just like no, screw that. Because if they optimize for the Series S, every other platform, every other console is going to benefit for it. Yep. We're going to get better optimized games. We're going to get better performance, and all these games can run on the Series S.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Two
things. Couple more.
Well, yeah, we get more super chats, but two things the reason I'm at the very bottom of the scroll is because when there is super chats or comments, I'd rather block me as the host than my guest. I want people to see the panel. So that's somebody's like, you're hiding behind your super chats. No, I'm hiding behind my super chat. I just don't want to cover up my guest. So yeah, and when they do talk about the Series S and the argument comes up, this clip plays in my head every time.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Yep.
Yeah. So so yeah. Oh goodness, we are getting to Doodoo Jenkins after these, I promise. So let's just read these
All right,
two.
Danny Fashion Official, $2. I said Game Pass would die if price keeps going up. I mean, you're not wrong. If it gets to like, $50, $60, $70, $80 a month, yeah, obviously nobody's going to buy it, right?
Of course.
So it is a thing. Chill Carlos, $5. Make sure you don't vote for the man that wants to impose more tariffs on imports, making our consoles more expensive. Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Good old politics.
Yeah, exactly. Politics rears its ugly head, but that's all right. All right, let's hear from the man, the legend, the mysterious Doodoo Jenkins.
All right, y'all. Doodoo Jenkins just told me the next Xbox, they're aiming. Now he said aiming for $599, a $600 price point. I know it's not big news, y'all, but it is something that Doodoo told me. He said the next Xbox will be aiming to drop at $600. Not the handheld, the next big, powerful console. $600. Now, he just said the handheld, he don't know. That shit might be more possibly. But the console, they're aiming for $600. Now, listen, if that's true, now my boy Doodoo, listen, my boy Doodoo Jenkins, he has a great track record.
He does.
I told you guys a long time ago about some shit. Now, this is what he just told me. They're aiming for $600. Now, things can obviously change in 2 years, but he said they're aiming for a $600 Xbox in 2026.
There you go. There you go.
That's the truth, man. That's what I
do himself.
Yeah,
like
man.
It.
Yeah,
I like it.
And like I said, like people, like, man, I saw when Clue posted this clip, people in the comment section were like, y'all believe a guy named Doodoo? Of course, I kind of made the name a joke.
You did.
But I legit have a guy that gives me information about future stuff, and he hasn't been wrong yet. I said several examples. He told me last year Doom was going to be a multiplayer day one. He told me the day before, I mentioned this on my show, but like for everybody that haven't heard, he told me the day before the Capcom games going to Xbox was announced, was like a couple weeks ago. He said, Dirk, they finally figured it out. They're going to announce it tomorrow. And he was 100% right. He told me about Indiana Jones. There's a clip of that, me saying it the week before. The Indiana Jones was a timed exclusive with a short exclusivity period. He did tell me some games that's going to PlayStation, some things like that. And, so, I kind of make it the name a joke, but it's really not a joke when he tells me stuff. I just bring out this character Doodoo Jenkins, but it's real stuff though.
Yeah, exactly. Let's play Code's thing. Is the PlayStation 5 Pro in a nutshell. I don't know if anybody saw this. I thought it was actually pretty good too. Comparing the graphics. I'm not sure if it's audio to it or not, so we'll see.
PS5 Pro.
Oh, here it is.
What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5.
Number 1, number 2. Number 1, number 2.
About the same. Number 1 might be a tiny bit better.
Number 3, number 4.
Number 3.
5.
I didn't see this. It's funny.
And 6.
PS5 Pro. What we see here is a
I didn't see that. That's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. Because we've all been to the optometrist. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
There we go.
That's pretty. That's pretty funny. That's pretty damn funny. But at the end of the day, this it was a bad way to present your new mid-gen refresh. I always compare. You know, the only thing I can compare it to is the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. Right? I think about the Xbox One X. That E3 2017 was huge, right? You know, they showed the Xbox One X. They talked about it, about the specs. Then they showed some games. That whole show was showing games running on the Xbox One X. And they had Forza Motorsport 7. I know that wasn't the biggest first-party game, but at that time, that was what we had. And we talked shit about Forza Motorsport 7. And I do understand they are going to have a state of play this month showing off. I don't know if they'll have any first-party games because, like Mav said, the rumor is they might not have many first-party games, but they might. But they will show some third-party games running on the PS5 Pro. But I just felt the way they presented it was pretty damn bad, man. Like showing off PS4 games. I mean, they couldn't show off I don't know, some multiplats from this year.
Yeah,
showing off PS4 games. That has made no sense to me, man. And I mean, when they had Ratchet and Spider-Man 2 was the only PS5 games that I saw. So,
did they have? No, what was that? The Souls game they had, Demon Souls. Was that the one?
Demon Souls.
Yeah,
did they have that one.
Yeah, remake.
That
Maybe
might have
that's
been up
up
there.
there. I don't know if it was in the presentation or if it was just listed as one of the games that's getting updated or something. I don't know, but
yeah.
I think most of the games they presented already have 60 frames modes. I think Hogwarts Legacy is the one that they showed that it struggles the most with performance, right? But then they showcased that one running at 30.
Yeah.
So it's like that would be the one benefit I would look forward to in Hogwarts Legacy is to see a smooth 60 for it with the fidelity. But they chose to show that one in like a 30 frames with more ray tracing and shadows. You know, it just didn't make sense.
Didn't Sony say them?
I'll put it back over.
It's not really a rumor. Didn't Sony themselves say that they only have 1 or 2 AAA games a year going forward? Well, we heard plenty of people. You know, there was a report saying that the rumor was the state of play this year will have no first-party games. And let's be real, they did not have a showcase this year, right? They had a showcase last year. That showcase was dog shit, to be honest. It's all subjective, but even PlayStation guys said it was dog shit. They didn't have one this year. And for the most part, state of plays have always been smaller shows. I don't know if this is something they're going to do going forward. Like a Nintendo Direct, the state of plays are going to be their small and big shows, I guess. It depends on the state of play. But I think it is kind of weird for them not to have a showcase. And if they're going to show off third-party content running on the PS5 Pro, yeah, I just might talk shit about that.
Yeah, for well-deserved shit, for real. That is absolutely no lie in that. I do want to. I gotta welcome out. This is a crazy number. We have over 1,437 people watching us live right now.
Yeah.
And the number on X, it's over 1,150 are watching us on X, and over 300 are watching us on YouTube. So thank you so much for wherever you're watching us. We appreciate you being here very much. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why we added X to the stream simulcast, and it seems like it's paying off.
Do that because I never did that. I'm gonna have to do it.
You use StreamYards too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's you can easily do it. It's easy to do, and it's worth it. Plus, too, the nice thing about like for myself, if I watch back later, I don't have I don't pay for YouTube. In other words, I don't where you get the no ads kind of thing. Because if you pay for it, then you can actually like turn like your phone. You can turn the screen off. And you can still hear it. Yeah. Where that X, you can do that, or you can. Yeah, so you can, even though it's playing the video, you can turn your screen off, save your battery life, and still listen to the whole show. That's I'll sometimes listen to MAV that way because it's just easier. So yeah, but yeah, that's crazy numbers. But if you're here on YouTube, please, please,
if you like this video, please hit the like button.
Hey, real quick on the Avowed stuff too, because I'm getting a lot of kickback on what the developer said in the chat.
Go ahead. I saw Paris in here for a second.
Yeah,
hi Paris.
So like I don't know how we could take so the guy during the Iron Lords interview actually was like, oh, let me answer this, right? It's an art guy, but like he actually grabbed the mic from the other guy. Being like, I got this, right? He's like, we decided to focus on 30 frames early because that was what was important to us, blah, blah, blah. He says that we went for 30 to facilitate fancier visuals, and that because Avowed is a first-person single-player game, you don't necessarily need that 60 frames. So how else are we supposed to take that they aren't prioritizing as 60 frames mode? Like, that's obviously was their take from the beginning, that they didn't feel like they needed it, right? That's what he's saying. And that was been my argument for optimization, is like prioritizing the fact that, hey, gamers really do like that 60 frames mode at launch. And that, as far as PlayStation first party goes, that's one of the things that they've done really well. And that's something that Xbox, every time they've had one of these games like Starfield or something like Redfall, they come out with this 30 frames mode, and then they get patched with 60 later. And it's argued at the start, well, it's because of developer vision, or it's because of developer this, right? It's like, come on, guys. Like, we should be asking for these options at launch, not later, right? Like, they delayed this game from it was supposed to launch in November until next year now. So they're getting more time. Well, they should be able to optimize it. And it was argued that it was because, oh, we just have too many games. We have so many games that we just can't get it out, right? Like, so, hey, we're going to give it some extra space. So how about use that time to optimize and all that stuff, and prioritize giving us the options at launch. And if you guys have heard me and Pong on our shows and stuff, we've been saying that all of us console gamers deserve the option at launch of a performance versus fidelity mode. And it should be at least 2. Okay. So like when they have this and they make these statements, like you don't necessarily need that 60 frames, that tells you the mentality that they have of why we're not getting it at launch on Xbox. And that's the problem that I have, right? So I don't know how I could take it any differently than what the guy said, regardless if he's an art guy or tech guy or whatever. He willingly grabbed the mic from the other guy. Is like, let me answer this. I got it. You know, like, don't answer those questions if you don't know. And if you do know, and this is the answer, then I also have a problem with that. You know, like, let's just optimize the games the best they can be and give us the options. We're console gamers. Let's not be second-class citizens, right?
Right. Welcome, Adidas renewed his membership.
That was Lotus is free, right? No.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I did. It was Lotus is free. Lotus is free.
Lotus is free.
Wow. Wear your glasses, Dave.
Welcome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see nothing. Yes, Lotus is free. New member. Thank you. And of course, Lotus. That means you get access to all these cool emojis. Have fun. Use them up. Burn them up. We appreciate you. But did want to mention, please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you get a chance. We are literally 40 away from being at 3K. So
come on, baby.
Pretty close. So if you haven't, and double check that if you were a subscriber, sometimes YouTube pulls you off. I've noticed that sometimes too. So double check, make sure you are subscribed. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for being a part. And big thank you to the panel tonight with Dirt and with Mav. We still got a little more show to go. Don't worry. So guys, where do we want to take the show now? You know, we got a bunch of topics we threw up in there. I think we've kind of we've made our feelings known about that. But there's there's stuff like the Tokyo Game Show coming up. A lot of rumors about Jez Corden said the Final Fantasy games are full force coming. Mm-hmm. To the Xbox, and then another thing that we could talk about, or we talk about both, but is will the Xbox handheld be announced at the Game Awards? Sarah Bond confirmed in one of her little things that the some Xbox hardware will be revealed holidays 2024. Well, that seems like the Game Awards is holiday area. So what do you guys think about that?
Are you going, Mav?
What was it again?
All right. So will the Xbox handheld be announced at the Game Awards, like some kind of just an announcement, not necessarily revealed or anything, but like an announced that it's coming and that it's real? Because like Sarah Bond said in an interview earlier this year She confirmed that Xbox hardware to be unveiled holidays 2024. Well, the Game Awards is right there in the holidays. So
I remember. So overall, I've been kind of on this train of like, I think it's the best idea to get a handheld out before next gen, because of the spec of the power that you need versus price for a handheld, right? Like, if they launch a handheld at the beginning of next generation, right, then it's going to be even a worse situation than we have this generation with everybody complaining about the Series S versus Series X. Because to have a console that's comparable in power, or a handheld that's even remotely comparable in power to a high-end spec console that they're going to have, is going to be ridiculously expensive at launch, right? So, but if you launch a handheld now that can be spec'd out more to what we expect from like a Series S, you have like a dock that's sold separately, then you can have like a 5-year support for that until they stop supporting cross-gen games, and then they go to next gen and into like, okay, well now we're going to cut off the Xbox Series models and we're going to go into next gen, and then maybe at that point they have another handheld upgrade. So like for me, a handheld, 4 or 5 years life expectancy is pretty decent for that. If they had a Series S capable level handheld now, then we would be able to game on it for several years with every game that comes out for Series S and Series X. All the third parties, the developers already have that Series S level spec option kind of power wise that they can target for it, and we can play the games natively at a reasonable price, right? And that's what I would want for it. And then 4 or 5 years in the next gen, then they are able to spec it more closely to whatever the or 3 years into the next gen, they're able to spec it closer to whatever the launch console is then, right? And then you're good to go for another like 5 years in the handheld tech and stuff. So that's just what I would envision. That's what I think would make the most sense, like business wise, plus also for us, for costs versus what we're getting. So I think it's feasible, right? It just depends on where they are with the development of it. Like, are they on track? Are they behind? And if it's like a traditional Xbox handheld, I think it would do really well. I'd say like $400 and then $100 dock sold separately that maybe gives like a slight boost or whatever to it or something like that. That you can easily. It'd be like, think of like a Series S that you can just kind of take on the go, and then have like a dock. You can just plug it into a TV, kind of like a Switch. That's what I would think would be amazing. Like I would replace my Series S's with those actually for the family.
I think that would be cool if it did.
Yeah. Part of me always thought that when she was talking about new hardware for holiday season, I thought she was talking about the Xbox One Galaxy. The digital Xbox
Series
One.
Galaxy. Yep, the 2
Yeah,
terabyte.
that's what I thought she was referring to. She said it's dropping in fall in like holiday season. That's what I thought I heard.
Yep,
not
that.
Yep. Announced in holiday season. So me personally, I don't think they're going to announce anything this year. Like maybe some more games at the Game Awards. I don't think they're announcing any hardware this year. Next year, definitely. But this year, no. But I can obviously be wrong. But that's what I thought. I heard that. So
yeah, no, and that makes sense too. That makes sense. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Yeah, it's about new hardware or it's new controller that was revealed during the
Elite 3,
the lawsuit. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's true too. What do you, Hargee? What do you think?
It's a tough one. I kind of like the idea of getting a portable out before, so they can learn all the issues of having a non-connected device. Yeah, it is a challenge, and it's something they have to think about because almost everything nowadays is connected mode, right? It's expecting to see something to off the game, to start the game, to install the game, right? That all has to kind of work offline, right? And slowly you're seeing some of those capabilities come in, but they need to kind of have that. The other question is it going to be a pure Xbox or is it going to be a Windows type device with an Xbox mode? And I don't know what they're planning to do. This is kind of the thing that they hint it's going to be more Windowsy based, which gives you access to the entire store ecosystem of Windows. But the thing that Phil hates is the interface, right? The Windows interface on the ROG or Legion, whatever, they all it's too Windowsy, and it's not good on a controller interface, right? You're on a controller, literally. So now you have to deal with the keyboard mouse stuff, and it's just not easy. And that's kind of the thing I think they're trying to resolve, right? So if they can get something together and still give you access to your Xbox ecosystem, which is part of the problem too, right? Is to say, hey, I own all this stuff on from my Xbox One, from my Xbox 360, from my Xbox Series consoles. Why can't I just bring those games forward? So they're going to have to look at a way to do that, right? And if they can pull off both of those, that's the thing I think they would do. But I don't know when it comes out, right? Because that's a technology challenge they have to work through. And I don't know how simple that is. And then there's also the legal challenges they have to work through, right? Whatever contractual obligations they have to keep games distinct, right? If you're going to marry the two worlds, is that going to be something that publishers are going to say no, right? So they'll have to work through that, right? So we'll see how that comes out. It's much easier to follow like the ROGs and whatnot to say we're going to just make a Windows device with a Xbox UI, right? But then do you bring the Xbox games with you? I think they really have to look at how they can pull that off, because it would really push away Xbox players if they didn't have that. But it could compete well with a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally, right? So they have to kind of work that piece. But again, anything they do there, they're probably just going to give to those other guys too. Right. So if they have that capability, they'll sell the software to them as well. And so then the ROG will suddenly have the same capabilities. So it's that middle piece of like, do I get the Xbox games? Can I play my Xbox library? And does it look the same as my Xbox? Right. That's the part they have to kind of work through. If they can do that, that'd be awesome. Right. And maybe that stays unique to them. If you want the Xbox experience, have your Xbox games roll forward. You can play your series games. You can play your PC games. Fair enough, right? That might be a cool capability they bring to the market, and then they sell the interface to everybody else. You can still have the same controller UI interface, but it's not going to give you the games. That might be one way to get through that. I don't know. We'll have to see what they pull off. I kind of like the idea of doing it sooner, just as I said, so they can get through the weird issues that are going to happen, because there will be of how do you do an offline mode? How do you play offline with enough fidelity? If you're saying Series S, is that power mode available with battery? Does it last 10 minutes? Does it last an hour? Right? All that stuff that they're going to have to work through to see how well that works, right? I think that's a good thing to get out of the way sooner. But they may be just saying, nah, we'll wait. We're going to have a whole console reveal 2026, and we'll show you both. That might be a thing. Or maybe they target, fall of 25. This is all up in the air. With the 2 SKU thing is an interesting, because it's not the portable does not have to conform to Xbox. So you have to kind of just think about that as its own thing. So it may not be very much an Xbox. It may be this hybrid thing. If it is an Xbox, that's cool. But I don't know. I think it makes more sense for them to stick with the Windows side of it. It just, there's so much more capability in that. And that can drive, as far as the development part of it, to be much easier, right? Because now you're saying, hey, there's a third SKU. You have to make every game that works, versus it's just PC. Whatever you have out there, it'll just work. So if you've got it on Steam, you've got it in our store, Epic, don't care. It'll just come in. It'll work, right? It just takes away some of those headaches, right? You don't necessarily say, hey, oh, is this game coming to the ROG Ally? Can you buy it on Steam? Okay, cool. You got it, right? It's just there. And I think that's what they're going to have to go after, right? If they start saying, oh, we have the S, we have this portable, and then we have the X, and you have to guarantee every game is tuned to everyone. Yeah, that's going to make it much more interesting.
So the interesting thing with that, Hargeet, is because there was an interview before where they mentioned that the kind of like their aspirations in that market, and they talked about 2 approaches that they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And one is for developing the better like interface and tools for the third party like manufacturers, right? So they can put it in their devices, and then also making their device. My thing is, like, if they just do kind of the same thing that the third party manufacturers are doing, there's not a whole lot of separation in the device, except that it's just Xbox or Microsoft branded from the get-go. I think it makes more sense if they allow the 2 approach that they're working behind the scenes to have more of like the traditional model for console / handheld for the Xbox side, and then still continue to support all those third parties because that market's already growing as it is. They don't need to necessarily even contribute as much into that side to help it keep going, because as long as they keep supporting those companies to develop those and push for them to use Xbox as the default, right? And then for them, they have their, okay, for the console gamers, this is for you. You know what I mean? So I hope, and that's personally, that's what I prefer, right? For them to go for, but just because I want that experience that feels so much native console like, but in the handheld, to where it's like, hey, because that's what's that. And I know Steam is like Linux based as well, but Steam has done a really good job with that because it's your library and all that kind of stuff. And it's like it feels like this is the ecosystem. It feels like it's a Steam thing, right? I want the Xbox to feel like that, the handheld, and not like Windows, you know. But we'll see.
Well,
maybe they're able to do it in that way still.
But that is the thing, right? So it is Windows, right? Your Xbox is Windows. It's just not showing you Windows, right? It took away the standard Windows UI Explorer, and it's replaced with a full Xbox GUI, right? Which was based on Windows 8, but it is the Xbox GUI. All I'm saying is take that and make it portable to other things. The thing you need to do is expand the ability for Epic and Steam to be able to be onboarded to that same thing, right? Which just means, how do you expose it in the Xbox UI? Right. But then you can take that and move it elsewhere. Now, the thing that makes an Xbox specific, by the way, is it has an auth chip that's required for anything that's going to connect to it. Right. So that chip would still have to be there. So any device that wants to use it as an Xbox would have to have that full certification. Right. So it's a little bit different. So that's why I say maybe they make their own device that does all that. So if you want to use your Elite controller, you're still going to need to be on an Xboxy device, whatever that is. It's going to have that auth chip inside it to be able to pair up with all those devices. If you don't care about any of that, maybe you could have a partner device that just has a UI, but I think you'd forego the Xbox library. I think that would have to not be there. But if you have that capability and you want to be an Asus ROG Xbox, right, that's fine. You would have to have that auth chip in it. You would have to look like, and basically you're locked. You're not going to be able to then switch it to Linux. It's going to be locked to Xbox, right? It's going to boot Xbox, and it'll look the same bloody way, right? You turn it on, Xbox logo comes up, and you're up and running, right? That's what it's got to be like, right? At least that's my theory of how it have to be, because it would have to be locked to what they do to keep that ecosystem protected, right? So either way, that's getting kind of in the weeds.
That's all right. That's all right. All right, so we got a gifted memberships if you want to read that real quick.
Yep, let me go back. So we got a gifted memberships from Spartan661, and we got Big Poppy Senpai, Doggy Dog 420, OG Newbie, One Punch Jedi. I don't know if this is Og Newbie, but One Punch Jedi, and then Oats. Gifted.
So make sure you thank Spartans 661 for the membership.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, dude. We greatly appreciate it. We got a bunch of gifted memberships tonight. We really appreciate that. So, and don't forget, if you are gifted membership on YouTube, that all you got to do is go to the icons area for the show, and there is plenty of them. You can get in there and burn them up, have fun with them. So that's awesome. And this number is insane. We got over 1,730 people watching us right now on X and on YouTube. That's 1,400 on X and with over 308 on YouTube. Wow. Thank you so much for being here. Please hit the like button.
That's the power of dirt, Griggity.
It is. It's the power of dirt.
Power your numbers like that. What the hell am I talking about?
It's that, and I'm riding on the coattails of your 200 episode. I'm just kidding. Plus, we have the great Hargeet Chani. It's the combination. It's the power of the panel. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Actually, you guys are all amazing members of the community, and I'm blessed to have you guys on. So thank you all so much.
I thought Tim Dog was here again. You know.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Where their Xbox sucks. They're putting all their games on PlayStation.
That's what I was thought. With them kind of numbers, man. You know.
There's been just that whole thing, man. It's like there's been so much people like saying, "Oh, like I'm just so concerned," and like Xbox is gonna disappear, and like why do you even own an Xbox and all this stuff. And I like we talked about this on the show on Friday, Dirt, and just like to put it in perspective for people to really think about it. Like look back at 2016 and where Xbox is today, and your own personal experience, right? Like the value that you get with all of these fucking games that they have been developing, all these acquisitions that they've made, and all this stuff, and we're sitting here so concerned that like Indiana Jones is going to go to PlayStation like months later, and they're going to have to pay full price for it. That it like takes the value away from what you're actually doing and experiencing in some kind of way, right? I agree that you don't have to like the business decisions that Xbox makes, but like overall, if you focus on your experience and compare it to 2016, all these people that are like, you know, fire Phil or screw Phil, he's ruined everything and stuff. You would not be getting all these games into Game Pass from all these developers and all these publishers that they've acquired that have been making games like Starfield and Avowed and like Blade and Call of Duty and Diablo and like it's just all this stuff, and it's absolutely insane. If you actually think about all the characters and the franchises that they have now and everything we have to look forward to, and we're sitting here so worried about the future, but they own everything, man. They own everything, and they're giving it to us in a subscription. It is absolutely insane. Even just recently, there's even news, hey, Tony Hawk may have something coming up. Or like, hey, there might be another dumping of like Activision Blizzard games going into Game Pass soon. Or there's like all these things, man. It's like, why would you have ever decide that now is the time to abandon Xbox? It is like the worst time possible you could ever make that decision, because you were just costing yourself more money. And a lot of these people are abandoning ship to a platform that has no fucking roadmap of games. They've been the whole thing that they were defending. So I'm thinking some of these guys just like playing the underdog. They just like rooting for the underdog, because the whole time last generation, right, was like Xbox has no games. Xbox has no games. And they're like, yeah, we do. We're playing all of our third parties. Games matter. It doesn't matter if it's first party or not, right? Now Xbox has like all these publishers and all these games and all this stuff coming up, and they're all going to Game Pass day and date. And it's like, I want to go play over there where they come later and pay $70 for them, as opposed to playing them day and date on Xbox. And I also want to go play over there where they actually have 0 games announced.
Right.
So what makes sense? Oh, and I also want to go ahead and get that Pro to play these games. Like, what the hell are you thinking, man?
Yeah.
Like, why? Why is it now? Think about yourself and your experience over the stupid conversations that exist out there. You thinking you're not cool if you fucking game on Xbox, because PlayStation also gets those. It's just the most ridiculous thing, man. And it's like, I know a lot of people have been invested in with their identity and their shows and all these other kind of things with the Xbox brand, and they feel betrayed. But Xbox has never been your friend. If they don't respond to your emails, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, just play what you enjoy. Enjoy the experience of the fucking games and look forward to all this shit coming out. And make the best decision for you. And if your best decision is based on your arguments you can make online as opposed to your own personal experience, then you have lost the plot, my friend. You have absolutely lost the plot.
Mav, let me tell you, it is 100% because of console war, right? If I was just a regular guy that was not involved on YouTube, on Twitter, just a gamer playing my games, would I really be that upset about everything? Because all I know is that Xbox Game Pass helps me financially, right? You think about Xbox amazing roadmap.
You're a welfare gamer, Dirt. Come on.
Right. Yeah, you're a welfare gamer. You know, but look, think about all the stuff Xbox Game Pass. Call of Duty, the biggest selling game every year, is in Xbox Game Pass.
It's insane.
And moving forward, Indiana Jones, Fable next year, South of Midnight, Avowed, Stalker 2. Like, those are games I would have bought with my own money, right? But instead, I get it in a subscription service. And it's point blank that simple. It's all about console war banter, all about console war ammo, you know, bragging rights. For, like Mav said, these corporations are not our friends. Not just entertainment, any form of entertainment, something that's your passion. right? You can meet like celebrity. You love, I love your movies, or athlete. I love I've been following you since high school. Like you can meet them and they be a complete asshole to you.
Yeah.
Right? That has happened. Right? To like the people out here. They met a celebrity they loved forever and they met them, they're asshole.
Yep.
I'm not delusional. I know Xbox look at me as a consumer. But some people think they're their friends.
Dirt,
right?
we have to be transparent, Dirt. And you have to tell the people who follows you. Who follows you?
Okay.
Come on. Who follows you?
Okay. I do have a couple of Xbox executives that follow me, but
and who is the one? The big one? Who?
Aaron Greenberg follows me.
There you go. And now, Dirt, you've actually been called out as being an Xbox shill.
Yeah.
When he did that, I was about to die. Your impression is better than
I had the pleasure of the photograph, the big photograph.
Yeah.
Yes.
The breakfast. The infamous breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
Like when Colin Moriarty called you guys out for doing that. And then a picture came out of him having dinner with like Shuhei Yoshida and stuff like that. I remember that. Colin, you fraud.
Yeah, but
should we get this out of the way? The member chats? Sorry, the member gifted memberships.
Oh, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
So Spartan661 gives us 5 more. Thank you very much. And it's the Elemental Hero, the Shadow Link Dragon Wolf King. That's one of them. Mershot, Borbs 8203, Robert Hart, and then Franksta 86.
So yeah.
Greenberg is not Doodle Jenkins. No, okay. Phil Spencer follows me, Aaron Greenberg follows me, and Stein follows me, right?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, right? They actually follow me. But that goes to show you, I do console war shit.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't participate in it, obviously, but maybe they don't mind a little shit talking. Maybe they don't mind some stuff like that. But my point is, I understand that this console war stuff is the only reason most people are really livid about it, right? Of course, I was upset at first also because I do console war shit, right? So that's a lot of ammo going to the PlayStation side. But then when you look at the whole situation, you go back to the Xbox One days, the PS4 versus Xbox One, everything that the PlayStation fanboys said or laughed at Xbox doing, PlayStation is starting to do the same shit. From putting their games on PC to I don't need an Xbox, I just buy a PC. Everything that has happened is going over to their side. So the landscape of gaming is changing. And once I realized that, I said, damn, you look at Square Enix, they're like, shit, we putting all our games everywhere. We can't do this PlayStation exclusive stuff anymore. You look at what's happening in the industry, layoffs, all this stuff that's happening. This is a different time in gaming, man. So we just need to realize it's not going to be the same way that it used to be. Maybe Nintendo still do their own shit, but they're in a whole different atmosphere than Xbox and PlayStation. So
people just want to hear what they want to hear, man. Like ultimately, it's like whatever that you care about the most is going to be up to the person, right? If you care about exclusives and that's the only reason you have a console, then you know what? That's fine. Go buy a Nintendo, right? Because ultimately, PlayStation's putting more games everywhere else as well.
100%.
And that's going to change even more so over time. So if you think you're abandoning ship to go buy a PlayStation because it's all of a sudden, they have exclusives, tell me which games. Tell me what is the first party roadmap that you're so excited for in the exclusive category that is so much different than what Xbox has that is announced so far as well. And if you can play the games, why does it matter so much if it's somewhere else? Because it should be about you and the games, right?
It's about bragging rights, man.
I get that. It's just like doesn't make sense for your own personal experience. Like, and overall, the argument for the console war stuff, I've been called a console warrior because I make fun of shit that PlayStation does sometimes because I find it asinine. I call out some of this stuff that they do because I find it ridiculous. I find that they're double speak. They're marketing when they tell you one thing and then completely do another. I call it out because it's obvious to me, right? That when Xbox says the stuff about 30 frames and that's what matters, or we don't need 60, I call that out. I get called a pony bot or a doom and gloomer for that, right? If Xbox closes studios and I don't like it, I get called all of a sudden a pony bot. I don't even own a fucking PlayStation anymore. I traded it. I sold it to GameStop. Like, I don't have anything that I'm looking forward to on it. I was hoping when they announced the PS5 Pro, they give me something to be excited for it. I was called PC Master Race because I bought a PC. Because, you know why? Because I wanted to play Starfield 60 frames at launch. You know, like, all of these kind of things, people are just going to stick with, well, this guy said this at this time, so this makes him, I'm going to put him in this box all of a sudden. And that's where he goes because he said one thing that fits with the argument that these other guys are making or whatever, right? Ultimately, everybody's got to speak for themselves and what they think. And if you don't like what Xbox is doing, that's cool, right? I can make a business, I can make a business argument as well, like Pong can, because we talk about this, that we don't agree. We think Xbox has room to grow in the console market if they do make all those games exclusive, right? But like, I don't give a shit. And before this is the same conversation we had early in the days, because these questions were asked and people were like, would you even care if Halo went third party? I'd be like, I mean, honestly, not really. Like, because for me, it doesn't matter because I'm not emotional about the console war stuff, right? I just want to play the games. And as long as Xbox keeps making games and they keep making consoles, I'm happy because that's what I prefer to play on. And for everybody thinking they're getting out of the console space, they're the only ones that have actually announced the next generation. They're working on the next generation hardware.
Yep.
Right. They're the only ones that have talked about their spec level that they want to reach the most like advanced and all this other kind of crap as well. They're the only ones that said they're going to have multiple options as well. Right. They're the only ones that have talked about that yet. They're the only ones that talk about the ecosystem going forward and how we can actually preserve our purchases and that they care about forward compatibility and preserving our libraries. So everybody's worried about that aspect. They're the only ones that have done that. And if you ask me, where do you have most faith for a console and you're being able to play the games you buy today digitally in the future? It's 100% on Xbox. I don't trust PlayStation for that shit. And you think I trust Nintendo? Hell no. So if I'm investing in third party and first party games, I'm sticking with Xbox. And I'm looking forward to what they have going forward, man. Overall, like, we can have criticisms over certain things, we can like certain things, but man, just like the whole conversation about like, hey, I'm going to go to PlayStation because of this now, this doesn't make any damn sense. And not to me, at least.
Yeah. But you have to look at it from their perspective. So look, this is probably going to sting. I'm not going to talk about any given person, but people who do that kind of thing, it's their life. They don't have anything to really bank on to say, this is me. Right. And so they say, I'll latch on to this. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be Chevy versus Ford. It could be Coke versus. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be Giants versus whatever team you don't like. Right. It doesn't matter. It's one of those things. And you become so invested in that to make that your identity. And in this case, some people are doing it based on a console or an ecosystem, however you want to say it. As long as you keep it fun, it's okay. The second you make it about you and that if something happens from the company, because it's not about you, you don't own it, you don't run it. If they do something you don't like, it can't hurt you. You got to think about, okay, well, that wasn't what I wanted, but whatever, right? If it's going to be something that hurts you, that's where you find these kind of things happening where they shift away because they're like distraught because their whole identity was around that. Their whole life structure is around that. And now they don't know what to do. Right. That's not a good place to be. Again, these are, like you guys were saying, these are corporations. They're going to do whatever hits the bottom line the best. Right. They want to make more money. Right. And that's just the way it's going to be. Right. So for the PlayStation fans who don't like, oh, they're putting stuff on PC. It's happening too. Oh, it's not day and date. It's going to be day and date. It's going to happen. You're just going to have to deal with it. It will happen. They're putting games on Switch for Pete's sake, day and date. You know it's going to keep happening. Oh, it's only one. Yeah, until it isn't. It's just going to be the way it is and just deal with it, right? So for the same thing's going to happen to the PlayStation side. There's going to be people that are depressed. It's like, dude, play the games, right? If PlayStation's giving you entertainment, enjoy the games. If they're not, find another mechanism to get the same thing. We're supposed to be gamers, right?
Yep.
And as you were saying, Mav, it's hard to look at that June showcase and say, I'm wanting. Like, there's so many games.
Right.
There's
It's like the best
literally
showcase
Fonz yells
ever.
out,
I watched the
too
showcase
many
about 15
games.
times. Man.
Right? It's like, how do you see that and say, oh, I don't want any of that? Like, and it's all going to Game Pass.
Yep.
Like, how do you say no to that? It's so compelling, right? But if you want to dog like the other side and say, oh my God, why does PlayStation get my stuff? Okay, yes, it would be awesome if console wars existed when we were in the 1990s, but we're not in the 1990s. We're well past that. These games cost way too much now.
Yeah.
They're going to be in a different world, and you have to just adapt to that. You know, the funny thing is, if you ask, succeeding generations, do they care about this stuff? And they're like, I play on my phone. What is a console war? Like, it's just a stupid thing that's irrelevant when you go forward. We, the older guys, are the ones who are stuck on this, and we need to kind of just adapt.
100%.
Right?
You're 100% right.
Right? It's just move on. Right? So I still enjoy the hell out of the Xbox ecosystem, and I include Windows as part of that because, well, when I hit WinG on my Windows, guess what comes up? The Xbox game bar. It's native to freaking Windows, but it's not as good yet, right? But I play mostly on my Xbox, and hey, they give me the opportunity to play some games like Starfield on my PC when it doesn't conform to the performance that I want. So I can move over to PC whenever I like, or just play on my Xbox. But it's one ecosystem. My Game Pass Ultimate works on both. You should be happy with those kind of options. That's great. Why are we?
It's pro consumer ultimately, but like it's like anti Xbox identity in a way, right? So it's kind of.
I just find it the opposite. Like, people keep saying, yeah, Xbox is dying. They're gonna get out of the console business. Look, as long as you're willing to buy a console, they'll make one for you.
Yeah,
100%. Who's the number one like subscriber to Game Pass? Right. Well, the numbers.
It's the consoles.
The consoles. Do you think they're gonna throw away like 20-something million like Game Pass subscribers?
Exactly. They're not. They're
like,
not. As long as you're willing to buy one, they'll make one for you.
That doesn't make any damn sense. You know, like
no. See, like this is the thing. You're absolutely right because I said this before. People say they're gonna stop making consoles. No, they are not, because the console is a huge part of the ecosystem. It's a huge part of the ecosystem, right? Like you said, if there's 30 million Xbox Series out there, that's 30 million consoles that's out there. People are playing on these consoles. So they have PC, mobile, console, cloud.
Yep.
They're not going to get rid of one of their biggest parts of their ecosystem. They already they already announced the new consoles are coming. Right? They already announced it. Like you said, Dave, nobody, I don't know who said this, Dave or Mav. They're the only ones that announced a next generation console was coming. They said it earlier this year. We've talked about it. So they're not, like, consoles are still very important. They don't mean as much as they used to, because before that was all it was. Like, if you want to play a game on PlayStation day one, all of their games, they only have one way to do that for the most part, like all of their games. Buy a PlayStation 5 console. But even now, PlayStation, the almighty PlayStation, is like, we have to do something else. Our old traditional way just isn't cutting it anymore. People buy consoles. We sell about 10 million of our first party games, and that's it. That's why they moved to games as a service, and we see how that's working out for them, right? So, no, they're not getting rid of consoles. I know there's a lot of stuff that we're not happy about that, you know, some of us have complained about in the community. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Xbox knows where they're headed with their ecosystem, with their console, with their, you know, with everything. Whether it's timed exclusives, whether it's day one exclusives on other platforms. But one thing we're going to get for sure is those games are going to be in Game Pass. All right. So Xbox has a vision of where they're going to go. Obviously, some people don't like it. Can people tell me what PlayStation's vision is?
Yeah, no.
Oh, it'll be like Xbox. It's just 6 years later.
Yeah.
That's just what they. That's if you go.
That is what they do, isn't it?
All the way from the PS3 to the PS4, like all the way since then. Like they started doing that, you know. But they say whatever is They're marketing for whatever is based on whatever the conversation is right then and there, and then they kind of use that to their advantage for the messaging that they say to their audience to like be the, hey, this is we have your back, console gamers. We're on your side. Meanwhile, they're doing all this other shit right behind the scenes.
What the hell is going on in the chat?
I don't know.
So welcome out to Gaz, Septic Sauce. He's in the chat, spewing some love, talking about how much he loves the Xbox. And Epic Treasure is in. We love Epic Treasure. She is absolutely amazing. Everybody get a chance to make sure you follow Epic. She's been on our show before, and hopefully she'll be on again in the future. And Gaz, one of these days, when he's got some free time or he's sober, no, I'm just kidding. But he's got some free time. Just kidding, Gaz. I love you. Maybe he'll be able
Gaz
to make an appearance on there.
Gaz is a madman in these streets.
He is. He likes riding the razor blade back and forth. But we do love. A couple of quick things, real quick. Didn't mean to interrupt the flow of the show, but I do have to give a huge shout out. We have over 2,151 people watching us right now on X and YouTube. 1,800 plus on X and over 300 watching us on YouTube. Wow. Awesome. Fantastic. If you get a chance, if you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We are literally 32 away from being at 3K. So would love to hit that at some point this week. That would be great.
Tell me WEBDAVE to 3K, y'all. Subscribe.
Let's go, please. And if you're watching us at X, find us on YouTube and click there and subscribe. Then come back if you want to do whichever way it works. So yeah, but hit that like button, please. Share this out. Thank you so much. Awesome panel. Awesome, amazing chat tonight, man. You guys are absolutely killing it. And if you are a member or got a gift member, then you have the access to all the emojis, which is kind of cool. We appreciate that. I do. There's two things I want to. One thing I want to play real quick because Mav called about it earlier, and I thought it was actually cool. I do have it all queued up, and I'm gonna share it real quick. And it was about the Tony Hawk teaser thing. I thought it was cool. It's real short, but we'll pull that up real quick, and then I also want to shout out something that Epic Treasure had posted. I want to play that as well. So let me see which one I got. There we go. All right. So this was the breaking news. Tony Hawk talks to Activision. Is planning something for the 25th anniversary, and we'll just pop that up here and play live. Well, here we go.
You got the 25th anniversary coming up of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. What's next for the franchise?
I wish I could tell you more, but I can't tell you that I have been talking to Activision again, which is insanely exciting.
Get out of town. The boys are back.
We're working on something.
Can you give me
I like
any more hints?
this is the first time I've said that publicly.
Contact lenses that I'm going to put in, they're going to make me skate.
I can't give any detail, but it won't be that.
Okay, that's a good detail. Yeah.
I'm glad.
But I think it will be something the fans will truly appreciate.
There you go.
I hope it's not that Tony Hawk ride. Like, remember the one that came with the skateboard?
Yeah.
What was that, like 2012? Was 2011? Something.
Yeah. I think it's probably going to be like either another remakes of like some of the other Tony Hawk games, like Underground and stuff like that people want it, or it'll be like either maybe a new one.
Yeah,
like that'd be amazing.
Just like some BC. I mean, like, you think it's possible there could be some BC ones, like just
I don't know, like
for Xbox.
The interesting thing with how they've been doing like the whole ABK games into Game Pass and stuff. Like I was speculating on this early on with when we found out they weren't just kind of doing one big haul of them, and then the rumors came out about the Transformers stuff and working with. I feel like there's possibility of them kind of doing some work with some of these games to kind of bring them up to like a little bit more standard. It's not necessarily like a huge thing, but like kind of bringing back the FPS boost stuff, or like maybe some of the up-res stuff, or and things like that to kind of make them a little bit more like enticing for the to dive back into when they get in there. So I think there's a possibility with that, and even if it is like some back compat Tony Hawk games or whatever, I think it could be something where they kind of go back and kind of enhance them a little bit. That's what I would hope, and that would make sense why they're not doing one big like, hey, here's like 50 games, maybe K, you know, like all that kind of stuff.
I love it, man. If you think about Activision, they have such a huge portfolio of games, man, that we used to love 15, 20, 25 years ago, right? Obviously, some of those games might not be possible without a remake or something done to the game, but I think it's cool, man. I mean, even if Tony Hawk isn't your thing, that game was that franchise was extremely popular back in the PS2 original Xbox generation. Extremely popular. Actually, didn't it come out in the PS1 generation? Or was it me?
I think it was PS1. Yeah, I think it was PS1.
The PS1 generation. It was extremely popular, man. So
I played the shit out of Warehouse, just going up and down the fucking half pipe over and over again. Like, I love Tony Hawk back in the day, and the remake actually they did is really good.
Yeah, into the PS1. Yeah, it was the PS1 gen that came out. Okay.
Also, there was news of a Singularity recently. There was like a new trademark or something.
Before. Yeah, I never played that before. So that's
cool.
Really
exciting things coming, man.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Just the more games, the better. Give us more options, more stuff to play. I love it.
There you go. You mind reading that super chat there, Hargeet?
Sure. Before that one, we have Bunty became a new member, and then Jax82, $5. Xbox puts the customer first, giving us more options to play the games where you want from past and future generations that come with you. Yeah,
that's a fact. And you know what's crazy about that? I'm always watching old E3s. Xbox Phil Spencer has been saying that for years. Play the games you want where you want. He's been saying that for years, man. Like damn near all the way back to 2014. They've been saying that. So
yeah, exactly. And Sati has been saying this.
So if this is about competition, let us have competition.
But just kidding. Yeah. So let's we're getting ready to kind of wrap this up because I don't want to take any more of these guys' time. But so awesome. I appreciate each and everybody being here tonight. But I do want to play a little clip that Epic Treasure posted. Epic's like, what are you doing to me? No, this is all good, I promise. So she actually I've been playing one of the new games out. Well, I'll just show the video. I'll bring it up first and then let it talk for itself. Boom, there we go. The Space Marine 2, and it apparently has a really cool like photo mode, which I think is neat. I love the games are doing that more and more. And so this is just some of the. Plus, she has really great walkthroughs and playthroughs on her show. So.
Oh, this would be a good shot, wouldn't it? Let's go into photo mode for this one. Let's change the. We'll get rid of you, won't we? Put you in the photo. Fix.
But just look at all the different things you can do with it. I didn't know you could do this much.
Saber is a pretty talented developer.
This game is so good.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're using that World War Z engine with all them zombies, but all these little monsters. It's pretty good, man.
And they optimized first for Xbox. So it's
crazy.
Took advantage of the hardware.
Yeah, it did. Xbox was whooping PlayStation ass in that frame rate.
But yeah,
that's
just
pretty cool, man.
Yeah. That's you can move around. You can change the color, the text, find what you want, and even completely change the perspective on what you're looking at.
Oh boy.
Epic seems to be enjoying herself with this
She
photo.
does.
I will get rid of the UI there.
So this is Epic's walkthrough and MSR. I mean, what? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I haven't even messed with the photo mode in there yet.
Me either. This is pretty cool.
But that engine is so good.
Let's just do a little bit of.
I wonder what engine they use.
It's the Swarm engine. It's the same thing for like World War Z and stuff. Like, yeah, you can have like thousands of enemies on the screen. I'm running it. I can run it at 4K native.
Yeah, let's put that up.
At like smooth 60, no problem on ultra. Like on the PC, it's just like runs like a dream, man. Absolutely insane,
bro. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
does look absolutely amazing. Epic. I didn't know you didn't know we were going to share that tonight, and when I saw you come on, I thought I'm definitely going to have to play it now. So anyway, so yeah, if you have anybody got a chance, make sure you go like and subscribe. Epic's she does some amazing walkthrough stuff. A lot of different games that she plays and walks through, and sometimes it's fun watching her play some horror games and getting the shit scared out of herself. It's pretty funny. So yeah, so big shout out to Epic. Yeah. Okay, guys. Man, what a great show. All right, so 2,000 people on X watching us right now on the X. Twitter, whatever. So thank you all so much for watching us and enjoying this, and then on YouTube over 300 constantly. So that's been great. So thank you guys so much for that. We really appreciate it. But let's go around the horn. Let's tell everybody where they can find you, what you got coming up, because I know there's a lot of great shows coming up from both the top gentlemen, and of course Hargeet is everywhere.
Hargeet is everywhere.
So Dirt Griggity, please tell everybody where they can find you, what shows you got coming up, what's going on, buddy, and where they can reach out to you.
Yeah, of course. Tomorrow we have WBZ Xbox podcast, and believe me, we're gonna have a good time. Good old time talking a lot of shit. I have my Dark Man on Thursdays, but I try to find during the week, if it's something I'm passionate about, I try to do at least a couple videos a week. My little 10 to 15-minute videos. I love doing those. Won't stop doing those as long as it's something for me to talk about. I'm not a tech guy, so I'm not going to be talking about PSSR and all that shit. We're just going to be talking shit. That's all we're going to be doing, We can be calling out ponies for their hypocrisy. I'm not a tech guy. We're not tech guys at all. So we just gonna have a good time, man. Because it kind of reminds me of 2020. I don't know if you guys remember 2020. Well, obviously everybody remembers 2020, but in this community, before the consoles released, everybody knows this and RDNA 3 and RDNA 2, and now this shit is so annoying, man. It's so annoying. PSSR, it's the new thing, and then I can't stand this shit, So we're just gonna have a good time tomorrow and talk some shit, bro. Thank you. Thanks for the invite, man. I appreciate you.
Awesome, man. I love having you on here. You know that, and one of these days we're definitely gonna get. Yeah, it's in. He put that up there. Dirk did, of course. Mav will do the same thing as well, and also Hargeet can as well. Put the links in the chat.
Yeah, sub. If you aren't sub, check it out. Sub to my channel.
It's worth it, man. It's really worth it, guys. You're almost 14. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm 13, 8, 60, I believe. So I'm almost there. I'm about 140 away. So.
Very cool. Very cool. And I just checked, and we're like 25 away from getting 3K here. So
nice.
There you go. So if you get a chance to do that, yeah, Hargeet put in, and of course, and thank you, Epic. Appreciate that. And Gaz, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. So many other great members of the community that jumped in here. But Mav, hit the big milestone on Friday, and tell everybody about that show and all the other great shows that you have, buddy.
Yeah, man, we had a fun show, and it was our 200th. But yeah, I'm with Dirt, the whole tech talk stuff. I just there's too many acronyms: VRS, VSS, FSR, ASMR. What I don't fucking they all. There's Fidelity FX, all these things. Yeah, it's cool. I understand it's stuff for the devs, but let's actually just see how they use them and let the tools speak for themselves with actual games, because everything we're sold earlier this generation didn't turn out really, So anyway, but yeah, if you guys want to hang out and come have some fun, check out Fun Speculation on YouTube. Multiple shows Mondays. We got FSP at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursdays, PM in the PM at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with Pong, Soul, and I. And then Friday nights, Xbox Ultimate Podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And when Xbox is dead, as everybody says they are, I will be playing on the next gen Xbox and playing their games day and date and game.
Amen. Oh gosh, and we did have a put a poll up earlier and just to let everyone know as well. Will you be buying a a PS5 Pro. It was 90% no, and only 9% said yes. Out of about 341 people that participated in the poll. So there you go. There you go. Oh, welcome, Joey. Joey's in the chat. Awesome.
Joey.
Abdel, I think I'm gonna pass playing the Ray Ray clip because I don't want to make anybody else mad. But it was funny. I watched it. It is very funny. Very funny. Thank you so much for sending me that clip. I appreciate that. But guys, wow, what a great show. And Hargeet, buddy, tell everybody where they can find you. Every place they can find you, not just what's next, because you got a lot of stuff.
All right. So first, you can subscribe to my channel. I put it in the chat. It's Hargeet Chani 1 on YouTube. Second, if you want to, I did write a book. It's sort of a Mass Effect like story that I was making into a game, but eventually just made it into a novel. So you can pick that up if you want to. I'll throw that in the chat as well. And there you go. You can go to shop.chani.us. Hopefully that showed up. And then the next it's probably, I think it's just Wednesday. I don't think I have anything in between, so it's going to be on Booms at 7 p.m. US Eastern time for primetime gaming. That's Double Barrel Gaming is the channel, and then with Fawns I host GameStalk Live, and that will be on Fawns Gaming at 10 p.m. US Eastern time. And then I will be on night shift with Doodle and C Money. That's at 8 p.m. US Eastern time on Point for Gamers. And then back here on Sunday night, 7 p.m. US Eastern time.
There you go. There you go. And I appreciate you stepping up and becoming the co-host of the show. You've been a fantastic asset, and greatly appreciate you. Over 2,177 people watching on X, and over almost 300 people watching on YouTube right now. Wow. So yeah, thank you all so much. And if in case you didn't get into these links and everything, in the description of this episode on YouTube and on when this replays on the audio version, which I'll upload right after the show's done. The audio version of this will also have all the links and X, except for Hargeet because he doesn't have X. But we do have Discord for Hargeet, where you can reach out to each one of our panel members and guests. So again, thank you all so much for being here, panel guys, Mav, Dirt, Hargeet. You guys absolutely rock. You guys are what make this community what it is, and how fun and entertaining it can be, and enjoyable. And thank you all for everything you do. And thanks you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man.
All right, cool. So I guess with that said, thank you for joining us here on the one and only Gamers Council.
Game over.